Like Mark said, happy Thanksgiving weekend. It's always a good time to, have some good turkey and have a football game too. Very American. So excited about it. Obviously, coming off a big and a needed win, a game at times we played really well. Probably could have put away a little earlier than we did, but it was really good to see the way the guys responded down the stretch. Going down and scoring that big touchdown at the end, give us an opportunity to have 5 wins with the chance to have 6 going into this last game. This is a big week. We go up there to play Reno, game for the cannon, and we know what it's like to, at least I do, and, maybe some of our young guys don't, but these guys here do. They know what it's like to see that thing pulled over to our sideline and how exciting it is, but we also know what it's like to have it pulled away and taken back over there, too. So those are both different emotions, and we know which one we prefer. So, we got to play really well this week, got to execute a great game plan, and I think it's going to be a heck of a day of football, and we're excited about it.
Like, especially being from here, how much does this rivalry mean to you? And how much does last year sort of in the back of your mind, especially as you prepare this week?
It means a great deal, fighting for the city. And another thing, like Coach Sanchez just said, seeing it rolled out at the end of the game, that's a picture that's been in my mind all year. So I'll be definitely looking forward to bringing it back home.
And Mike, and follow up to that question, with what else is on the line, the bowl eligibility, does that also add a little more incentive to what's going on, or how does that?
It's everything to me. I mean, we got a chance to kind of, take a big step in this program, get us in a bowl game, and, win a rivalry game. And with all the things we got coming in afterwards, the stadium, it's helping us out.
Tony, you do think it helps that the last 2 years you've both won and lost this game in terms of getting ready for it?
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at the history of this game, as of lately, it's really been dominated by Reno. We've had it a few times. It hasn't been since the John Robinson era where we consistently won it. So I think there was only one time in the last, 10 years before we had won it. So that's a big deal. So again, experience in that, having our guys know what it's like to go out there and have a hard-fought victory on the road to win it, it's a big deal. And then, again, the emotion of seeing it, get pulled off and, dragged back on the field and spray painted with some colorful words on it and, all those good things that go into it. It just, kind of creates emotion. The hair on the back of your neck stands up a little bit.
Tony, what do you learn about this rivalry that maybe you didn't know before you took this job?
Well, I don't think you really ever know it until you're intimately involved in it. You see it from afar, and you see the fans get excited, but until you're wearing the colors and you're actually walking out there or you're a graduate from the school, I don't think you know it as well. So, it was kind of funny. I was explaining it to some of our coaches a couple years ago. We're on the bus, and, I was telling them, hey, this is a big deal. And, 2 of the guys from Nebraska, and the bus comes rolling around the corner, and you got like some, 8, 9, 10-year-old, and he's kind of, give us a specific finger, and we're like, wow, okay, here we go. And so, at the end of the day, it's a fun deal. It's fun to be a part of something that's important to the state of Nevada, something that's important to Las Vegas and to the Reno communities and all their graduates. Both sides of the field have young men that are just, they've already beaten the odds. They're Division I football players, are working on getting degrees and competing at a high level, and it's a fun way to cap the season, having that game. Obviously it's a game you want to win. We're excited about it. We know what's on the line, but it's fun to be a part of it and have it as the last game of the season.
Obviously, you don't have to worry about the team being fired up, but how do you get them from being too high?
Well, that's a big thing, is making sure that you have the right approach and demeanor to it, because you got to be careful of getting them so jacked up that they're not executing at a high level. At the same time, you can't come out, even keeled about it. You got to go out there and do a really good job of matching energy. Both teams are going to have energy. You have to be able to match that energy on both sides. But then the biggest thing is coming to balance faster. I think, after the first 5 minutes and, the craziness, can you come to balance, stay focused, play with a high level of energy, and execute at a high level for 4 quarters? That's really what it comes down to. After the locker room speeches and all the the stuff that goes on throughout the course of the week, it comes down to blocking and tackling, getting first downs, executing on third down, not turning the ball over, creating turnovers, and again, playing with emotion.
How does UNLV have the best chance to win this game?
Well, there's a number of different things. I think that if we can be productive running the football and then add, an aerial attack to it, which we've done both at different times. If we can combine the two, we'll be pretty potent on offense, and we're working hard to do that. Special teams-wise, we got to do a really good job of making sure that, if they do any tricky type stuff, we're ready for it. We've seen they probably have put more trick plays on film than anybody we've seen when it comes to what they do offensively and special teams combined. Fake field goals, surprise onside kicks, pooch kicks, a bunch of different things. We got to be ready for that in the kicking game. And then defensively, we've got to do a really good job of making them one-dimensional. We can't let them run the football, So if we can stop them from running the ball, they're a good throwing team. They've done a really good job of developing throughout the course of the year. But that'll give us the best opportunity to create turnovers and to be real aggressive on defense.
Mike, can I ask you a little about the rivalry? You saw it last year, the team lost. I think UNLV was favored to win the game, they ended up losing. So you kind of had a taste of that rivalry. What do you think of this thing as a redshirt freshman?
I just saw the look on everybody's faces last year, and just how hurt everybody was about the rivalry game. Since seeing it from the outside looking in, you didn't really get to experience the full effect of it. But just looking at your brothers just down and just looking at everybody, it's not a good feeling. So when we go out there, it's an important game for us in our city.
Tony, has there been any carryover from the way you guys won against New Mexico into this week?
I think the carryover is that it created opportunity. When the guys walked in the building, it wasn't so much about, whoa, wow, look what we did, at the end of the New Mexico game. It was more of like, all right, here we go. It's Cannon Week. We're ready to go. We got a chance to, to get to 6. We got a chance to be 4-2 on the road this year. We have a chance to really move this program, in a whole nother level forward. We're getting better, but, it's amazing what our guys have overcome. We're going to travel to this game with 50 some odd scholarship players suited up, right? We're a little banged up. We're low on numbers, and our guys have been able to sustain and continue to win games, and that's a big, big deal. So I just think the thing that motivated our guys when they came in on Sunday was opportunity about what's ahead of us, not what we've done, what's behind us.
How many healthy linebackers do you have going into this one?
Got a couple. Brian Keys will be fine, and Gabe and Javen White have done a really good job of kind of, it started off with Gabe being the Sam, obviously Bailey being the Will, and Farrell being at the Mike, and now having Bailey and Farrell out, Javen is moved over to the Sam, and I think Gabe's done a great job playing the Will position, but Brian Keys done a good job. He's done a good job this year, and he's shared that role with Farrell. So it's not like you're going to a true number 2. You're going to a guy that started games before. So we'll be all right. We just got to stay healthy throughout the course, and we're not dealing with things that a lot of other teams aren't either. Get towards the end of the year, you get a little banged up, and you just got to go out and you got to overcome. But again, you look a year ago and us dealing with those injuries, we were really flat. We were really depleted, and it really hurt us. This year we've sustained because we have better numbers. You guys get it a little bit more. They've really worked hard, and they've really stuck together, and it's kind of that next man up mentality.
Any chance Johnny plays any linebacker in this game?
He won't. We got to make sure we keep him ready. You may see him on some special teams, but we need to keep him ready just in case, on that quarterback spot. So this guy's going to stay healthy, though, right? Not going to give anything to worry about, but, we'll go from there on that one.
Coach, is it fair to say this is the most significant game, to label this as the most significant game since you guys have been here?
Ray, it's one of those deals where, I've been asked that like 10 times this year, in press conferences. And I think every game at UNLV is significant. You're talking about a team that's been, we've been bleeding for a long time, and every chance we have to move the program forward, to show progress, to get ourselves into, conversation to win your side of the Mountain West or to get into a bowl game, it's a big, big deal. It is a big game. I think it's probably, one of the most important games since I've been here, just for the simple fact that it's the Cannon game. It's always going to be an important game, no matter what your record. You could be 11-0 right now, and it's huge. You could be sitting there like they're talking about right now at 2-9, and it's huge for them. But to have an opportunity to move into the postseason, that's a big deal. So anytime, you can probably count on one hand how many times we've had that opportunity in Week 12 to actually go to a bowl game. It hasn't happened here very often. So this is a big deal for us.
Tony, if you had to sell, because there are a number of teams in the Mountain West that's already bowl eligible, if you guys, when you get bowl eligible, if you had to sell the program to a group, or maybe, why would you feel your team would be deserving if you get to the 6 wins?
I'll tell you what, we're going to get to 6, and then we'll talk about that. We just got to win the one in front of us. I'm not doing any promoting right now. Literally, we got to come out and play a great first quarter and go through 4. But I'll be 100% honest with you. We know it's possible, but our 100% focus is right now on Reno.
Armani, when you were out for those 3 games and watching Johnny play, what was going through your mind, and how did you keep yourself mentally sharp from when you got your chance again?
Just looking at them, just looking at him, how he just played, just staying in the pocket, just being able to look at the progression that he was making from the sideline, and even when he's coming to the sideline, talking to him to see what he was seeing, and then talk about it, and then when we go to practice, we can just fix our mistakes.
How difficult was it after you've been the starter all year, just now you're having to watch?
It was kind of difficult, but at the end of the day, when you see your brother out there doing good, you're just rooting for your teammate to do the best he can.
And in the New Mexico game, when you had that long stretch in the second half and you weren't hitting passes in the final drive, you come out clutch. How were you able to put that aside to be able to make those plays?
Just went in there. I knew it was on the line, and I knew how much time we had. I just had to go in there and just stay calm. I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself, and then that's when bad things start going the wrong way. So you had to just go in there with a cool, calm, and collective mindset and just stay focused.
And what does it say about him, Tony, that he was able to do that?
Tremendous. I mean, had a really good first half and actually threw the ball well in the first quarter, struggled down the stretch completing balls. And, it's kind of funny that I remember he comes out of the game and, after that third down, and, we had open woods coming across. We kind of overshot him, and, I kind of grabbed him on the side and just say, hey, we're going to have to make those throws if we're going to win games down the stretch, as you progress, through your career. And he goes, I know, Coach, it's on me. I got it, though. I'll be all right. And I'll tell you what, just the way he answered the question with such confidence. It wasn't a panic. It wasn't upset. He was just kind of like, we'll get another shot. And, those 4 balls he hit in a row, Presley, Woods, Keys, 4 plays in a row, that's big time, So, I don't want his head to get too big, but I think we saw a star in the making right there in front of us. That's special. What makes a quarterback special? It's not height and size and speed. It's your ability to execute in pressure-packed situations and lead your team to victory. That's what he did.
And he really opens up your running game too, doesn't he? Because now he has to be respected with his feet and arm.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about having an athletic quarterback is, obviously we have some, run situations, option situations where he's going to keep it. But, he also has opportunities where he looks down the field, nothing's there, he tucks it and goes. You saw that 3 or 4 times, really change the dynamic of the game. And when you get him into open space between him and Lexington and, and some of our other backs too, they can really put a lot of pressure on a defense.
Mike, the narrative. There's many people in this town for their theory is there's one game that matters for football every year, win the Cannon game. And yet last year you guys started really slow, were real lethargic. How do you take what happened last year and use that as maybe a lesson moving forward this year to get ready for Saturday?
If anything, just understanding the feeling that you had when you walk back in the locker room and seeing it just being painted blue. It has to be some type of thing in you that just drives you to just go through the week of practice and get better each and every day.
Was there a moment during maybe your childhood or growing up where this game kind of got on your radar, or where you saw maybe you were at a Cannon game and you're like, wow, I'd really like to be part of this, or wow, this is pretty live, I'd like to, or were you like maybe you developed that, passion for the South and maybe disdain for the North?
I knew about it my senior year of high school, and I just understood it was for the city. But honestly, I didn't really get in tune with it until my freshman year here, and I kind of it was just a different type of vibe. It was a different type of game. You just kind of felt the tension between both teams. And then, obviously seeing them walk off with it, and then the next year us walking off with it, it was so much more than just, a regular win.
The fact that the last few times the game's been there, UNLV's won, how does that kind of give you guys a little confidence?
Not at all, to be honest. Truly, I like away games, less distractions. And then, the simple sense of us being there alone, unity against everybody else there, that drives me.
Tony, you like having this as the last game of the year?
Yeah, I think, rivalry weekend's a cool thing. I think from a fan's perspective, it's probably appropriate, from a coaching perspective, it all kind of depends, I think you look at that first year when we were, a little down building a program. I think it was great that we got them early. I thought it was really pivotal. Last year we were so beat up by the end. We were a different team the first 4 weeks we were the last 4 weeks. So kind of depends on where you're at, in the situation. But I think, again, from a fan's perspective, from a rivalry tradition perspective, it's kind of neat to have it on Thanksgiving weekend, last weekend of the season.
What's the best adjective to describe this rivalry?
I don't know. Good one. It's an important game. It's again, Ray said it a minute ago that, for a long time, people said, this is the only game that matters. Well, we're working hard to make sure that's not true. but this game is huge. I mean, we want this to be huge and pivotal, but we also want to win enough games to where we got more than one game that matters around here. They've done it for a long time. You know, I've heard them say that this is their bowl game, you know. They've been to 15 bowl games. They've been to 13 since the 90s. I mean, there are teams that's used to going to bowl games week in and week out. We're working our tails off to build this program to become a team that has that same type of tradition, that consistently goes to bowl games. So we play in more than one important game a year. But I know that every day since last year, we've walked back in our locker room, and there's a wooden plank there, and it's completely blank. There's nothing on it because the trophy that goes on it is in Reno right now. And earlier in the year, we went out and we took pictures of the plaques out there of every one of our seniors. You know, you win the cannon, you get your name on a plaque, it goes in Rebel Park. Well, our seniors are getting ready to get out of here, and I know they're hell-bent on getting their name back on a plaque.
On the heels of that, what's the latest on the football facility? What can you tell us?
My understanding is groundbreaking will be announced for sometime in January.
That'll be huge, won't it?
It'll be huge, absolutely. We will see if we can, you know, get a win the cannon. We'll stuff it with some gunpowder and light that sucker off. We'll blow up the old locker room.
This week, do you think about your name being on one of them?
Almost definitely. Coach Sanchez and them, they took the pictures and they put them on the plaque. So, I mean, I see it every day. And honestly, if it's any way I want to go out, I'll know I want to come back and see my name on there so I can have some pride in myself as well. And, you know, it'll be big for the senior group.
Coach, you jumped high twice, right? Last week and then when?
Yeah, first year against Reno. Yeah, I don't know if I got that in me again. Hey, I tell you what, I'll do it again if we take care of business. I'll see how far I can jump. Pull a hammy one of these days, though.